Agent, I want an update.
Still searching, sir. We haven't found any sign of Robotnik.
No one could have survived that crash. He's toast. Good riddance. What a mess that lunatic made.
Sir, there's something else. When we were wiping Robotnik off our database, we found something. A file buried deep in our system and dating back over 50 years.
What was it?
Coordinates, sir.
Coordinates? To what?
A secret research facility. It was a black site, sir. Someone worked very hard to keep this hidden.
Project Shadow.
Well, that's one way to end a movie. When it comes to video game based films, I think everybody can at least agree that the idea sounds cool, but when the film itself actually comes out, it is not great. I mean, does anybody remember that Ratchet and Clank movie? Yeah, I kind of forgot about that one. What about that World of Warcraft movie? Yeah, let's best forget about that one. But with Sonic the Hedgehog getting his own film, everybody had a lot of mixed opinions, mainly because of this horrible design.
Meow?
I mean, seriously, how on earth was this approved? But you know what? Sonic the Hedgehog is actually a great film. I mean, obviously, not the best film in the world, but when we're talking about video game movies, this was fantastic. And with the amount of success it gained, obviously sequels were to be expected. We already know that Sonic 3 is in development, as well as a Knuckles spin-off TV series featuring Idris Elba. Hopefully I pronounced that right. But I think we're all here because we're going to be discussing about that post-credit scene. So it's been confirmed that Shadow the Hedgehog will be most likely the antagonist of the next Sonic film. Now, in case if you don't know much about Shadow, he is basically the equivalent to Sonic in almost every way. Except, Shadow's actually got a more serious storyline. You see, in the games, Dr. Robotnik's grandfather, Gerald Robotnik, actually made Shadow the Hedgehog. So I guess you could say the genius runs in the family. But Shadow was actually meant to help discover a cure for an incurable illness. Something that his daughter, Maria, had. But things went completely wrong as soon as Shadow was created. You see, GUN, the Government of United Nations, aka the group that we saw at the post-credit scene of Sonic 2, turns out they discovered Robotnik's plans to make Shadow and deemed it too dangerous. But what GUN did next was absolutely shocking. You see, they ended up capturing Gerald Robotnik, put Shadow in a permanent stasis form, basically he couldn't be able to move or anything like that, but right before they did that, Maria ended up risking her life to save Shadow, and got killed in the process. Yeah, for a Sonic game, that's surprisingly dark. But right before Maria died, she told Shadow to help out everybody on the planet, but he assumed that she wanted Shadow to get revenge on the humans. Now you may be wondering, then what happened to Shadow after the 50 years? Who set Shadow free? Well, that's not going to come as a shock, but Dr. Eggman found out about him, which is basically confirmed at the end of Sonic 2. Now, after giving you that sort of history of Shadow the Hedgehog as a character, how could this translate well into the movie? Well, for starters, I think they're going to cut out some of the dark elements from his story, which would be sad because obviously that's a big part of his character. But what about the overall plot involving Shadow? Obviously, the film won't just focus on Shadow, it'll focus on Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Tom, and his wife. But I guess the big question is, how do you make a Sonic the Hedgehog 3 that's just as good as the first two, if not better than the first two? Well, that's something we're going to discuss in this video. Now, for the sake of time, I'm just going to assume Jim Carrey will return as Dr. Robotnik, despite him saying he's retired from acting. But he has stated that he wouldn't be fine coming back as Robotnik if the script's going to be interesting. But like, let's be real, it's Sonic, it's going to be interesting. The movie will most likely begin with an explanation as to how Dr. Robotnik survived. We already know that Dr. Robotnik is most likely alive because Agent Stone, his assistant, is alive, and that's weird given that he was literally in the huge Death Egg robot with Robotnik. Now, as to how he survived, I feel like the movie would explain that. I really don't know how he could survive. It's most likely one of his machines, let's be real. But then it would focus on Dr. Robotnik finding the Space Colony Ark, which is actually the hiding place of Shadow. Also, the birthplace of Shadow, technically. And much like in Sonic 2, where Knuckles met Robotnik, Shadow will most likely believe that Robotnik's a good guy, sadly. But unlike Knuckles, Shadow plans to double-cross Eggman. I mean, come on, that would be a nice plot twist, right? We then fast forward over to Sonic Heroes. I mean, come on, they should have played that song in the movie. Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles are now best friends, and Tom is now called Dad by Sonic. Well, at the end of the movie, it was revealed that Knuckles is actually taking care of the Master Emerald. However, I feel like that will be the magic MacGuffin in this movie again. But in this movie, Sonic and them have to worry about something more than Robotnik getting the Master Emerald, but rather another character. And this character is probably one I don't think anybody's expecting to appear in this movie, but a character I personally think will show up. That character being Rouge the Bat. For some reason, I've noticed she actually has an importance to Shadow's story in the game Sonic Heroes. I mean, after all, she's the one who discovered Shadow in the first place. In case if you don't know her, Rouge the Bat is a thief, very similar to the character Catwoman, except she specializes in stealing powerful jewels and emeralds and such. And of course, the Master Emerald is one that she constantly tries to get in the games. Don't believe me? Look it up for yourself. Okay, now I know what you're probably thinking. Just how exactly would she be able to find the Master Emerald? Well, it all ties to Robotnik, Shadow, and them trying to hunt down Sonic and the Master Emerald. Now, I know Sonic lost all his rings in the end of the movie somehow, and he still couldn't find them. But remember, Knuckles and Tails came through via a portal ring. So most likely they at least have some sort of extra portal ring. So where's a perfect place to hide an emerald being hunted by somebody on Earth? Well, the best solution is to go to somewhere they're not looking, aka Planet Mobius. No, not Morbius the character, Mobius the planet. If you don't know, in the Sonic games, Planet Mobius is where pretty much all the Sonic games take place. The planet is surrounded by characters like Sonic. In fact, it's basically confirmed in the first movie that Planet Mobius is the planet Sonic used to live on. So it would make perfect sense for them to go back over there. And of course, you just can't have Planet Mobius without introducing more Sonic characters. And so the next few characters I'm going to mention are just going to fly by. So the characters I'm expecting to show up in case if they do visit Planet Mobius is Vector the Crocodile, Espio the Chameleon, and Charmy the Bee, and yes, Amy Rose the Hedgehog. But mostly I think they'll just be fan service and not have too much of an impact on the plot itself. And while Dr. Robotnik and Shadow are searching for Sonic and them on planet Earth, Robotnik decides to build a machine that will track down Sonic using Sonic's quill from the very first movie. That character being Metal Sonic. Yes, I think he will actually have a chance. Now I do apologize if this video kinda just seems like me just ranting about what I think it should be about, because honestly I'm still thinking through on how exactly everything will play out. But I am expecting this to feature a lot more Sonic characters than any previous movie. I'm also expecting it to focus a little bit more on Shadow. But nonetheless, I hope you guys enjoyed this. But what do you guys actually think on certain characters showing up? Would you have chosen some different characters to show up in this movie? What are your thoughts? I mean, we got a long ways until the movie comes out. It's supposed to be coming out at least in 2024, and we are in 2022, at least the time we're recording this. So we got a long ways off to see who exactly will show up. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.